somewhat like a cultural thing, you know, like, I don't think my parents want me to abandon my culture, because they fear that if I was to go out with a girl from a different culture or country, they fear that I will forget my culture and everything. So, as Africans, our parents just have that strict rule on how we should keep our traditions, and they fear that by going to a different culture, we might abandon our background. Also, I don't think this is just in Africa or Sudan. This is everywhere. If I was to go out with African American girl or another race, this topic will still exist. They'll be stereotyping me and whatnot, and the girl still will be facing some questions like, why is she doing this? You don't know his culture. Is he going to appreciate your culture? So it's like ours over here, the people that are like advocating this topic should like continue to change it, but I don't think it's only because Sudanese or African. It's everywhere. It's in African American culture, Indian culture, all over the world. So I don't think it's that.
All right, and thank you. Eve, you have something to share?
I just have a question. I guess I'm a little bit confused. Back to the main question. Was it why do African parents tell their kids that they're better than African Americans, or is it why? That's the question.
The question is, why do African parents teach their kids that they are better than African American children?
Can I say some, because I don't even say everyone.
Okay, and
I'm going to say some.
not all of them.
Okay. And that was what I was trying to address, because we need to realize that in Africa you have possibly thousands of tribes, and emphasis on some African parents. And honestly, like, I'm very surprised with the question. And speaking of marriage, basically they've said it all, where one, it's everywhere. Personally, my parents don't care what I bring home, as long as you're a good person. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Okay. So, as long as you're a good person, they really don't care what tribe you're, where you're from, what country you're from. Like Joel said that if Mark, Phil? Yeah, like Phil said, you have thousands of tribes in Africa, and this is something that is actually everywhere, every continent. You don't want your kids going out, some parents don't want their kids going out selling out the cultures and everything. Like I said before, I personally love my culture, and it's something that I'd love to keep, So, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong in it if I want to marry somebody from my tribe, because I want to preserve my culture. So, I don't know, I just feel that it's everywhere and it's in every culture. So Africa shouldn't be put on the spot.
Hi, I'm Dan Oliet, and I'm from Kenya. And actually, my tribe living in Kenya is originated from Sudan, so we sort of share the same cultural practices as Mark and not their last name, Mark. But what he said was absolutely true. It's a cultural thing, and this exists all over the world. And I've seen it in my own culture. Like, we marry outside. Like, everybody that lives in my village, the girls marry out of the village, which means they could go as far as 60 miles away, and you can't marry anybody within like about 10-mile radius, because they're all like your relatives. So if you're a man and you get married out of that culture and you move out to America because maybe your wife wants you to stay here, basically that culture is dying slowly by slowly. So they prefer that men actually do bring females, and especially if they're going to bring a female that's going to reside in that culture, they understand the tradition and appreciate it. And sometimes if I say, if African American, let's say, is the one I prefer and choose to take home with me, you'll find out that they might not like certain tradition. They might not behave in a way that people that grew up in that culture, that can be
kind of goes along with this, and it asks, what's the difference between African American, or black person, or is there a difference? So, I'll go to her first.
I think black is a general term because you have Caribbean, you have Jamaican, and all that stuff. And so I think African